Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Let's go ahead and get this crossword started. It looks like my partner in crime is running a little late today. So let's go ahead and put some work in on this crossword. I know that our usual gang is not going to be here because this is a holiday week. And that's cool. That's cool. Maybe some of you are watching this after the fact. Maybe some of you are watching this tomorrow while you prepare your meal. But I'm going to read each clue and run through this and see if we can actually answer some of this. Let's see. Okay. One across is must. 5 letters. Not sure. Six across is blank mayor, a Madrid landmark. 11 across has already been answered. 14 across, fell hard. 5 letters. Fell hard. I don't know. 16 across. Well, well, well. I think this puzzle was classified as hard, and now I see why. Let's see. 17 across. That's the truth. 11 letters. I've been doing the I get Apple News Plus. And I've been doing the Apple News Plus puzzles. And when you do different puzzles, you have to kind of get yourself in the mindset of how like for instance in the Apple News Plus puzzles, they do a lot of puzzles are more than one word, but they don't like indicate that it's more than one word. And then some puzzles do indicate that it's more than one word, which is interesting. Oh, good morning, Ari. Yeah, this crossword is hard. Let's see. I'm going to go down all the acrosses, and if I don't get at least one, then I'm going to switch to a different puzzle. Let's see. At least while we're waiting for Artemis. Okay, 19 across. Severe. 3 letters for severe. I don't know. See, all these I can think of words like severe. I would think strict, but that's not 3 letters. Okay, 20. Reason to raid the pantry. But they have raid as a capital letter, so I don't think they mean. Oh, reason to raid the pantry. Raid capital letter like bugs. So maybe it's bugs. Could it be bugs? Let's see if that's it. No, it's not taking that one. Could it be ants? There we go. Reason to raid the pantry. Ants. Okay, 21 across is ish and 22 across is ish. That helps not at all. Okay, 24 across. Key changing device for a guitar. I thought it was a fret, but that didn't work when I tried that. I tried pick and I tried fret, and neither one of those worked last time. Let's see. 26 across, Georgetown Players. No idea. 27 across, trifling. Trifling. See, I would say lazy, but that's not enough letters. 30 across, that's the truth. No, it's the same. More than one, that's the truth. We got 3 truths and lies, the theme of this puzzle. So far, I'm not getting it. Let's see. 34 across, certain low battery warnings. 37 across, Easter sometimes follows it. Easter. Easter. I know Easter is different every year. I don't know. Easter sometimes follows it. No idea. 3 letters. No idea. Let's see. 38 across, fly on a track. I would say speed, but no. 39 across, Velcro alternative. Capo. Apparently, I don't know guitars because I have not. I would not have said capo. Okay. Okay, where are we? You distracted me, Ari. Okay. Velcro alternative. I don't know. Atkins alternative. I think I tried keto last time, but I'll try it again. Oh, maybe I didn't try keto last time. Okay, let's see. 43 across. Check it out. Would that be look? 4 letters? Apparently not. Okay. 44. Something you clamp down on a guitar. Oh, okay. Okay, well, you music majors out there know more than I do. Um, let's see. Tamale components, 49 across. Tamale components. Uh, don't you use leaves to wrap tamales? But that's not enough letters. Um, Masa is only 4 letters. Um, I don't know what else is in a tamale. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. 51 across. Unappetizing fare. 51 across. Could it be slop? 'Cause that's 4 letters. Okay, so slop is not it. Let's see. Who got 69 across? Okay, let's see. Slop is not it. 53 across. Ditto. 53 across. Ditto. Copy. Also. I don't know. 54 across. Co-star of Paige in Juno. Oh, I have not seen that movie, so. 56 across. Dunkirk Dad. Don't know that one. Let's see. 60 across. One not looking for love briefly.
Hello.
Hello. So nice to see you.
I am having a morning.
Well, aren't we all? But I suspect you're having even more of a morning than the rest of us.
Yeah, I woke up with a headache, not feeling great, and I overslept. And the dog has been weirdly antsy since last night.
Oh, animals being antsy, that's not a good sign.
No. Well, only one of them though. The other one is so chill.
Okay. So it's not like a sign of the apocalypse or anything.
No, it's just a sign that she's a punk. Lay down, please.
Well, Ari and I were trying to work on this terribly difficult crossword. I
I'm not
think
even going
next
to try to put
Wednesday
my
we'll,
brain power to that right now.
I think next Wednesday we'll start with a fresh crossword because we've tried this crossword for the past 2 weeks and you see we've barely gotten it
Mm,
filled. And last week we had Ronald and we still didn't get it filled. And Ronald is usually
true.
up there.
Okay, bear with me one more second. I've got to let her out of the office. She is just not. It's not happening. Give me just a
Well,
sec.
you do that and we'll do a few more words on this crossword. So you go right ahead. Where were we? We were still doing the acrosses. 56 across. No, I was looking at 60 across. One not looking for love. And I have no idea what that is. 61 across. That's a lie. No idea. Husks. Good, Ari. I mean, I was thinking, I said leaves because I was thinking, I think I was watching a cooking show and she was making tamales with banana leaves. So I had in my brain that the husks of corn were leaves. So I didn't think husks. I was thinking leaves. Okay. 65. World War II menace. No idea. 66. Worship. How about adore? Adore sounds good. That word will now always make me think of that Prince song. Um, let's see, 67, and it was adore. Key with no letters. I have no idea. 68. Work appointments. Work appointments. Um, Work appointments. See, I'm thinking work appointments like you were appointed to this job. There's a word for it and I can't think of it. Well, I guess we're going because you already got one of the downs. Let's see, one down, good one. Um, See, only thing I can think of is Ada, like Ada boy, but that's not. Yeah, that's not what they want. Two down, oodles. All I can think of oodles is noodles. That's not right. Three. The one good thing I like about Planet crossword puzzles is that you know everything that's already up there is right. I mean, with other online puzzles, you can do the check puzzle thing and it'll tell you which letters you got wrong. But this one will flat out not let you put a letter in if it's wrong. So you have to have the whole word, which is frustrating sometimes because sometimes the way I like to do crossword puzzles is to um, put a letter in. Like I think I know the like if it's a an actress and I know the actress's first name but I can't think of her last name, I like to fill in at least part of the answer. But this puzzle does not let you put in partial answers at all. So, which is good and bad. And I can't see if Artemis, are you back, Artemis?
I'm back. Hopefully she's chilling out. She seemed like she just needed some extra water. So she took a couple little sippy sips and is a bit more chill now.
Okay, cool. Well, I guess we can get started then. Even though we don't bring in the other,
What is your problem? No, I'm just gonna leave her out of the office. I'm not dealing with this.
even though we don't bring in another channel anymore, we still stay in the habit just in case we are, um, just in case we decide to edit these, then at least I have a point I know that I can cut this off. So let's see what do we have right here. And as soon as she gets back, we will go ahead and get this show started. Okay. A little more crossword while we're waiting.
No, I'm back. Wayne is up now and can watch her, so I don't have to have her in the room with me.
Okie dokie. So, are you ready?
Sure. Yes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Coffee Klatsch. Sorry about that. I am your presenter, Danny, the lethargic glass, and this is my partner in crime.
Artemis, the fatigued, once again.
And in case you've never been here and you don't know what we're about, this is not a let's play or a cooking show or a makeup tutorial, all the things that you find on YouTube. We are what is called an atmospheric vlog. We are your audio ambiance. We are your background sound. We are here to keep you company while you are washing dishes and doing laundry. We are that adult voice in your ears. You're chasing toddlers around and you haven't been with an adult all day. And if you are a 100-year-old unicorn sitting in a tea shop lamenting over how humans just take way too long to um, fall in love, then we go ahead and pick out your afro and we will be there with you while you come up with a dating app called Miriam's Date a Base to put humans and monsters together. And that last bit was not from my real life. That last bit was the prologue to a charity anthology that's now available on Kindle EU. It'll only be around for 3 months. Kindle Unlimited. I don't know why I said EU. Only be around for 3 months. Um, it is called Matched by the Unicorn. And
Okay.
it has 9 stories by 9 different authors, and the proceeds go to a literacy charity.
Okay, yeah, I was about to ask what a charity anthology is.
Yes. Oh, they have them on Kindle Unlimited all the time, and you can buy them or you can just read them on KU. I usually read them on KU, but usually after like 3 months or 6 months, they are taken down. They're gone. So it's a limited edition situation. And here is Miriam, your unicorn with the afro.
So cute.
She changes her hair with her mood.
I love it. It's so cute.
It is cute. And I just read that prologue this morning because I haven't read anything that I could mention all week for this intro because y- Amazon keeps wanting to serve me Christmas books.
I
I am
mean,
not in
it
the
is
mood
that
for
time of
I am not
year.
in the mood for Christmas books right now. I mean, I rarely like to read Christmas books. But if I am going to read a Christmas book, I usually will only read it like the week of Christmas.
Is a Christmas book just a book that happens to coincide with Christmas? Like,
Yeah, it's a romance, but it's like, one of them is working as an elf at the mall and she falls in love
um,
with the mall Santa, or um you get snowed in with an ogre at Christmas but you need to hurry up and get back to town because you're the one who's running the Christmas celebration for the children, for the orphan children or whatever.
okay.
Or a popular one. The few ones that I usually do read are the ones where it's like my parents keep giving me a hard time for not having a boyfriend. And they may or may not have invited my ex to be at the Christmas celebration. And I don't even live at home anymore. I don't even live in the same town. So I need to hire or convince my alien coworker, my monster neighbor, or
Ooh,
somebody to be my fake boyfriend and come with me back to my hometown.
it almost
So,
sounded like a Lifetime original until you said alien.
well, I mean, they do ones with that are more Lifetime original like, but I only read the ones with aliens and monsters. You know me, because I like there to be a little bit strange in my books. I don't want to just read regular contemporary that I could meet in town.
Romance, but make it different.
Yes. So let's start with the life update. Obviously, it is if you've seen the title, then you know it is Thanksgiving Eve. What are your plans for Thanksgiving, Artemis?
We're gonna try to find some Asian food like we did last year. I think we might just
Yay!
make it a tradition.
Yay! That sounds like a plan. Yeah, we've ordered like we've done for the last 3 or 4 years, because I suggested it to your father one year. Since it's just the four of us, nobody's coming home, and we
Mm-hmm.
can spend $100 and they will, you know, send us something. Although the price has gone up this year, it was like 130. Um, Plus, we end up making one or two things. Like we didn't like the first year we just ordered what they sent, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
I think we got some extra sides because like they include one side in the thing, and then you can add extra sides as an a la carte choice.
Mm-hmm.
And so one year we got, you know, two or three sides and spent I think either 150, $200 because it was a lower price then. It was like
Mm-hmm.
$75 to get it back then. Um, and then we decided this is the restaurant we'd like to go with, but we don't particularly like their macaroni and cheese, or we don't particularly
Of
like the,
course.
so we so we, you know, we make our own mac and cheese, and we make our own other things. We just went with the one side, and like Chloe's gonna make the mashed potatoes, and I'm making a mac and cheese. This is only my second time ever making mac and cheese, which last year I made Chef Teeny's mac and cheese. Anybody who's watching this, if you've been on TikTok, you may know Chef Teeny if you're on that side of TikTok.
I am not on that side of
And
TikTok.
there is, I know you're not on that side of TikTok, but we've discussed this before. I started following her because I saw her first on regular television,
Mm-hmm.
and she was a contestant on a cooking show, and then I started following her. And so last year she showed everybody how she makes her mac and cheese, and the recipe looked easy enough. So I said I can do this. So I made the mac and cheese last year, first time ever in my
Mm-hmm.
big age making the mac and cheese, and it turned out perfect. We enjoyed it. We ate it all. Everybody was happy in the family. Okay. This year, all of a sudden, some little upstart girly, we're going to talk a little bit about TikTok tea. Some little upstart girly, I'm not using Teeny's recipe this year, but only because I found another recipe that I want to try that's like even easier. Her
Mm-hmm.
recipe isn't difficult, but this one is like dump all the ingredients in the pan, cover it with some foil, and stick it in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not, you know, cutting up nothing or anything like that.
Yeah.
But hers was good. There was nothing wrong with hers. I just don't have the energy to do all that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but somebody made her recipe and posted a whole TikTok about how it was disgusting. And we spent $147 in ingredients to get the stuff for you. Eh, That's first of all, what?
147, because I know my mother is not spending $147 on just
No,
macaroni. So what are they
no,
doing?
no. I mean, and I didn't buy. I'm trying to remember. I don't think I bought the specific noodles that she asked for. No, yes, I did. Now that I think about it, I did because your father bought noodles and I bought noodles. He saw the noodles I bought and didn't think that they were for macaroni and cheese, and so he bought noodles because he was confused. He didn't think I was going to remember to make the macaroni and cheese. So yes, I did buy the noodles that she bought. And I swear I can't remember how much I spent, but it wasn't a lot because I also, even though she recommends shred your own cheese, like a lot of places say shred your own cheese
Mm-hmm.
because when you buy, and I know this is true, when you buy the cheese in the
In the bag?
pack in the bags, they have the powder that keeps the shreds from sticking together so it
Yeah.
doesn't always melt as well as if you shred your own cheese. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I shredded my own cheese last year. I might have shredded some, but I think I used some bag cheese too. But either way, I did not spend $147
Right?
because that was the price of our entire meal for four people.
Exactly.
How did you spend $147? Number
So,
one,
welcome to my tutorial of how I'm making my free ranged, organic, homegrown macaroni and cheese.
really. But so yeah, Teeny does recommend you shred your own cheese, but even buying your own box of cheese to shred, it's not $147.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody on the I watched somebody else's video. Like I said, I don't remember how much I spent, but I watched somebody else's video and they said I bought the most high end stuff at my market and I still only spent $45.
Mm-hmm.
And that's still a little
Like, are they
pricey for
making the noodles from
but
scratch?
it's like a but it makes like a big pan of
Yeah.
mac and cheese too. Um so
Maybe she was feeding like a lot of people, and so she bought like multiple servings worth.
whatever. But she had like the mac and cheese in the foreground and the and you could see people had already dug some out. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch the whole video. I've seen it stitched with other people, but she's talking about how gross it was and this and this and this and she had breadcrumbs on top of hers. There's no breadcrumbs in Teeny's
See,
recipe.
you messed it up. This is what
There's
happens.
no, and her noodles look discolored. It's like, what did you do? What did you
You
do?
can't say that the recipe is bad when you change stuff.
Because you apparently did something wrong. And there's other, I think there's something else in the video. Like I said, I didn't find the original video. As usual, I always find the people who have stitched it,
Yeah.
and I never find the original video. And but apparently she had trouble making a roux or something like that, which
Mm.
it's not the easiest thing to me either. But I managed to do it. Um,
And you
and
can't blame the
but
recipe if you don't if
but
you can't do it right.
but the whole thing really blew up apparently because this girl decided to drop her video on the day that Teeny went to Jamaica to get married. It has
Wild.
been all over Teeny's because Teeny has been letting everybody in because she got some sponsorships to help pay for her wedding.
Yeah.
So she's been letting everybody in on what she's been doing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She got upgraded at the resort she's getting married at because, you know, she's an influencer.
Mm-hmm.
So she's been letting everybody in. So everybody knew when she was going to get married. And so she,
Yep.
put, and her thing started blowing up. I guess, I don't know because her two bridesmaids are also influencers on TikTok. I don't know if they were checking the TikToks and seeing
Yeah, because this is not going to be the
what was
day that
going
she's going to
on.
be checking.
Exactly. I don't know. Well, like I think she went down like the week, like she went down on a Monday and she's getting married on the Friday because
Oh, okay.
they had a lot of activities that they were doing at the resort
Mm-hmm.
before the actual wedding part. And so they dropped that video, right when she got down there. So I don't know if her friends were seeing this, were checking their TikTok during some downtime and were seeing it. But somehow all this was blowing up and all these messages were getting back to her. And she's like, and they're like expecting her to respond to how messed up this macaroni and cheese.
I'm so busy
and
right now.
and
I'm
her
so
only
busy getting
response,
married right now.
exactly, that was her response. I'm sorry, I'm getting married this week, y'all can fend for yourselves, was pretty much her response.
Yeah.
And now she's married and she's back and the thing is still kicking around. And so she did another, I watched a video she did yesterday and it was like, well, I'm going to do a video today to show you how to make a slurry to thicken sauces because some of y'all seem to be having trouble making a roux. And then she made the roux, she made the slurry and she was smiling and she was happy and she
Uh-huh.
made the slurry like she always does. And then she said, and that should take care of it for you. And then she kind of dropped that pan down on her stove a little bit too hard and people were in the comments like, did you see how she threw that pan? She was sick of y'all.
The
She didn't exactly
shadiest
she
slurry.
she didn't really throw the pan because I watched it twice. She didn't really throw the pan, but she kind of let it slam down
Dropped it a little hard.
on her stove a little too hard. Like, okay, I showed you another way to do it. Are you happy?
Wild.
But so I'm not making her mac and cheese this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm making a mac and cheese from another creator. So hopefully this will turn out all right. Um, and nobody's coming here for Thanksgiving this year, which is fine. which is fine. I'm not one of these people who's like, I know a lot of women in my age group who have children be like, none of my children are coming home for Thanksgiving, blah, blah, blah. My only concern is, do you have food? Do you have a place to eat? Do you have money to get the food? I
Yep.
know that the children who are not coming home are going to be with somebody else who's going to feed them. So I'm not worried. Because to me, over the years, because we never did a bunch of other stuff on Thanksgiving. So to me, over the years, Thanksgiving is just spending time with a bunch of relatives that you feel awkward with anyway if you go over to
Hmm.
somebody else's house, which is what we used to do. And maybe watching a football game or the parade. Neither one of those things interests me. And eating foods that you typically only eat once a year. And honestly, I don't even care. That's why started suggesting we order Thanksgiving dinner, because the rest of the family looks forward to the ham and the mac and cheese and stuff like that. I don't really care for those foods anymore, because ongoing, I've been losing my appetite in general, and
Hmm.
Thanksgiving food does not even perk me up to go, ooh, I get to stuff my face with all and I mean, I used to be that gal who was like, ooh, I can't wait to stuff my face and pile my plate up and stuff like. And now I just don't.
The
I just
only
don't.
the only two foods that I really like kind of crave this time of year is ham and mac and cheese.
Mhm.
And I'm not even like super like I'm not super butthurt that we're not having ham and mac and cheese this year. I'm
Mhm.
okay with getting some Asian food, and then we might try to do some ham and mac and cheese for
Mhm.
Christmas.
I just like having, and this is something that your father likes. I'm looking forward to there being leftovers in the
Hmm.
refrigerator, just because, and I'll get tired of the leftovers quick too, but at least there's something where I don't have to cook for a couple days,
Yeah.
because I don't have the energy to stand in the kitchen more than once a week. So
Hmm.
I I'm thankful that there's something in there that I can eat. So that's going to be our Thanksgiving.
I feel that.
So are we, let me look at our little Google Keep here.
Yeah, I don't.
Um do you have any markets coming up?
Not really. So I am taking a break. I guess this should be within life updates. I am just so like almost existentially tired. I feel tired to my soul. I am so tired because when the hurricane hit, I had to switch to full time at Party Store, and then because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna have any markets because all my marketplaces have been washed away, and then like markets have started like sort of popping up, and so I'm like, how do I maintain with that? So I just did a market last Saturday with Junie. Junie came and helped me out. And the market itself was pretty decent. After paying Junie for helping me, I still had a cool like 150 $200, something like
Mhm.
that. Um, so it was pretty decent considering how absolutely cold it was. It was an outside market. The high was not. It did not get out of the 40s.
Mm.
It was so cold, and I was furious because the next day it was in the 60s. I was so mad. But it was freezing, but we still like had a decent turnout. I painted some faces. I did at least one henna, so it was pretty good. Oh, let me show you this picture I took. There was a guy there doing taxidermy. Let me see. Or the guy wasn't doing the taxidermy. The guy was selling the taxidermy for his wife because his wife was sick and couldn't make it to the
Mm.
market, and so he was selling the stuff for her. Let me see
Oh,
the
I was about
photo.
to ask you if that was that same guy that we met at that market that I went with you with, that had all the
No,
lizard stuff.
different person. This taxidermy, in my opinion, is so much cuter. Hang on, let me see if I can pull this up. And then, okay, so take it out of split screen. And I won't be able to see you because I don't have my TV up. So I'm just going to be completely on a different window, not able to see you.
Okay. That's cool.
Share screen. Because I just did not, again, so tired, did not feel like connecting my HDMI cord and all that stuff. Um, okay, can you pull that into the thing?
Mhm.
Look at them.
Oh my goodness.
They're so cute. Let me look at her. She's a maestro. Look,
Oh my
she
goodness.
is her beach body. Look at her beach body. She got her two piece on.
Oh my goodness.
And you can't see behind the tree over here, but there's two mice in a bathtub.
Bathtub. I can see the bathtub.
They're so cute. I should have got a better picture of them, but I forgot. And this guy's a vampire, and she's magical. She's a fairy. It's so cute. And
This
I have
creator does great work, but I still can't help being grossed out by the fact that those used to be live animals.
and they're local animals too. Like they're animals that were found in Asheville. Look at him. I wanted to buy
Oh
him
goodness.
so bad. Had this been a better market for me, and he was like $100 something, and I
Oh
wanted to buy him, and
no.
I wanted to name him Zeke and put him up on my shelf.
Oh no.
Look
And
at
this
he's
is me. I mean, I grew up in a house where there was a deer head on the wall. So it's not like I am a stranger to taxidermy, but
but he's so cute. And then hang on. Look, look at their butts. These are fridge magnets. Look at
she does good
them.
work. These are very creative.
Yes. Oh, look at this. This one that I'm about to click to is crazy. Hopefully it'll show correctly. It's a video. Oh, it's loading. It's thinking about it. It's really truly thinking. There we go.
It's moving.
Right?
Oh
I thought I
no.
was going crazy for a minute because I was like across the way from her. And I looked over, and every time I looked over, I'm like, it feels like it's in a slightly different position, but like I was never looking at it long enough to see that it was actually moving because it's moving kind of
Hmm.
slow. And I was like, what? And then I came over, I was like, oh my God. And then this guy, he's just
Oh
happy to be
my
there.
goodness.
But I wanted that possum with the nose ring so bad. So,
Mm,
so bad.
no.
Hey, Judy. Oh, Judy's off to hit the town. Have fun in town, Judy.
Hello, Junie.
But I wanted the possum so bad. So bad.
I don't know. And I mean, and I'm not even against people wearing real fur. I think maybe if you just did all that and not use like their real heads or something, you could use their
It's
fur and
the
not
eyes
use
that
their
are stressing
heads
you
or
out.
something. It's just too much.
I feel like I used to be more like wigged out by taxidermy, and then I listened to the ologies episode about taxidermy and like how they do it and how they treat the animals and all that yada yada, and it's like I don't know, hearing the process of it takes kind of the grossness out of it a little bit because the person that she interviewed, I believe, did taxidermy for museums. So like when you go to the museums and see the big like lions and stuff like that. And it was just interesting listening to the process. And so now it's like a little less wiggy. I don't think I would ever do taxidermy myself because the pre-taxidermy animal I don't want to deal with. I don't want to touch that. But like post-taxidermy, once it's been all like dolled up and stuff, I don't know. It's cute. It's just like it's not any different than like a statue, in my opinion.
I mean, I get you because I realize how hypocritical it is because I am a meat eater and I don't have a problem being a meat eater. But I also know that if if this was, you know, 1901, I would, or go back further, 1876,
Mm-hmm.
I would not be a meat eater because I'm not killing and dressing my own animals.
True. Very true.
That would not be me.
Very true. On the subject of taxidermy, I have been eyeballing this one pattern for a long time that I think I might finally buy sometime this winter. But it's a it's to make like a taxidermy like dragon head. So you just crochet
Hmm.
the dragon head
Hmm.
and like glue it or stick it or whatever to a panel so it looks like the deer head that you were talking about earlier, but it's the dragon head.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
think the pattern works up to about yay big, so it's pretty
Mm.
fairly large. It's pretty cool. I feel like that would be a fun one to make
That
and sell.
that would be a showpiece on your
Hmm.
table.
Yes. I forgot one of my pieces that I need to show down in the car. Did I take a picture of my table? Maybe. Let me see if I took a picture of my table. Because
Was it
I
one of the snakes you were making?
no, because I never finished the snake.
Mm.
Did I? I didn't take a picture. Okay. Stall the people. I will return because I really do actually want to show this off. It turned out really good.
Okie dokie, back to the crossword.
Don't go back to the crossword. Just talk to the people.
I can't talk to the people.
Okay.
Because if I talk to the people, then I'll end up talking about something that I want to talk to you about. So we'll just wait till you come back.
Okay.
So let's see what we've got here. Um, Olive not found in grocery stores. 23 down. What is that? That was the first thing that caught my eye. Oh, olive oil. Olive oil. That's OYL. There we go. I got it. Okay, let's see. Torso of Muse sculpt. I don't know the names of sculptors. 26 down. Mule's mom. A mule's mom is a horse. Yes. Okay. Sandwich that's been on multiple farewell tours. Would that be the McRib? 27. Yeah, I think that's the McRib because the McRib is always leaving and coming back. And it's never as good as the first time. Because the first time I had the McRib, I thought, oh, this is delicious. And then it's never as good as the first time I had the McRib. Let's see. Each time it comes back, it's like they make it smaller and the sauce isn't the same. Okay, let's see. Okay, talk to us. How, Judy? I don't have. I can't talk to the people. I'm so shy. We know that's not true, but um, pre-departure announcement. 10 letters. I have no idea. 31 blanks raises Occam's razor. I just don't know how to spell Occam's. 31 31 down is Occam's razor. I think it's OCCAM. Is that right? Yes, I spelled it right. Okay. Occam's razor is one of those things that I only know by being nerd adjacent. I don't know what it actually is. Okay, 32. Moriarty to Holmes. That is a foe.
Oh, I was
Foe.
going to say enemy.
Okay. So you are back.
Yes, I ran down the stairs and ran back up the stairs. Also,
Do.
I stepped
What?
outside. I stepped out into the living room and only saw one dog. And I was asking Wayne, I was like, where's the other dog? He's like, I don't know. I'm not her keeper. And I'm like, well,
Yes,
you
you
are.
are.
Like, what? I left her out here literally for you to keep her.
That's part of owning dogs. You are her keeper.
Anyway,
So weird.
so right before right before going to this market, I made another big piece because I had the snake that I was working on that it was just taking forever.
Mm-hmm.
Because the snakes take forever because you have to like crochet about this much and then stuff it and then crochet about like this much was like 2 inches, 3 or 4 inches, 3 or 4 inches, then stuff it and 3 or 4 more inches, then stuff it, and so it just takes. It's so tedious. So instead of doing that, I did another big pattern, which I realized while doing this pattern, I tell myself I don't like fidgety patterns, but for
Mm-hmm.
other things like the shawl, I'll get through like 2 rows and get bored and have to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the snake, I get through a few like sections and get frustrated and stop. I knocked this thing out in almost one sitting, 5.5 hours.
Oh wow.
Let me back up and let me embiggen myself. Oh my gosh, my other mouse. How do I embiggen? There we go. Okay. Look at it.
Cute. So cute.
Right? It stands up on its own. I just don't have a table back here, but it stands up on its own. The wings are a little crinkly because it was sitting in the car all
So
like
cute.
right. It's definitely a little like lopsided. You can kind of tell from me holding it. It like I don't know how it ended up slanting. I thought I
Mhm.
sewed everything in place correctly, but it does still stand. We named her
Mhm.
Saffron.
I figured because Junie yelled saffron in the chat. But yes, that looks so cute. You did a
Right?
great job.
This is the. Let me make sure I pull up the pattern and give the.
Did you put anything in the ears to make them stand up or
No, they're so they're double sided, so they're double thick, but it's just
Mhm.
a like it's just in the round, and then
Okay.
you squeeze it flat, and it when you sew it on, you sew it kind of like the two ends a little close to each other, so they like fold in a little bit.
Mm.
So they just stand straight up on their own.
Cool.
I
Cool.
stuffed the horns a little bit, but not a ton, and then the
Thanks,
tail.
Junie. You have a good day too.
Bye. The tail I stuffed. I think the stuffing of the tail starts about there, which you can
Mhm.
kind of tell, but it's not too bad.
No, it looks great.
But let me sit her down. I want to bring up the pattern. I need a good place for you to sit, Miss Man. Okay. Um, I believe it was an Etsy pattern, so let me pull it up. Oh my gosh, why am I not logged in?
You and your Etsy patterns.
I have so many of them, and I need to actually work them instead of just buying patterns because they look cute. Okay, so oh, there it showed up immediately because I needed to leave a review. 5 stars, love it. Would you recommend this item? Yes. Next. See, this is why I don't leave reviews on Etsy. Just let me put 5 stars. I don't want to say anything else about it. I really just want to put 5 stars.
I think I
Okay.
have more patience with stuff like that because I went through periods of being unemployed, and every time I was unemployed and at home all day, I would get in my head that, oh, I may be unemployed for a while. Let me make use of my time and try really hard to either make a little money doing surveys or do book reviews on my blog or stuff like that. And I just don't know if I am not so cute.
It's called the Celeste the Dragon pattern by, oh my goodness, why am I still not on the right page? By Red Mills
Cute.
Crochet.
Cute. Cute.
I didn't do the fur. And there are
Mhm.
also like leaves that she said that she could do. I skipped those too
Mhm.
because I was just like, let me knock this out so I can have a big thing at this market.
Yeah.
So I did the simplified version, which I think still looks pretty cute.
Mhm. So you're saying when you say you didn't do the fur, you're saying you didn't do the stuff down the spine?
Yeah. So please get back to that picture. Yeah. So this fur down the
Yeah.
spine, I didn't do, and
Yeah.
there's a little fur on the top of the wings, which I didn't do as well.
Wow.
But if I'm
Mhm.
not mistaken, this is also the same
But still,
person that did. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was saying it looks cute without it though.
This is the same person that did that Winnie the Dragon pattern, which is the other big dragon that I made.
Mhm. Cool. 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 Cool.
She's got a lot of dragon patterns.
And you liked doing the Winnie the Dragon pattern too?
Yes, but
Mhm.
that's also the same pattern that in the pattern is like, oh, you just finished this part, but you're actually not super far, so like go drink some water and come back. And like she puts a lot of like asides in her patterns of like,
Mhm.
ooh, you were just working for a long time, make sure you take a break right now, and like,
Mhm.
okay, you finished this section, make sure you go drink some water, and like you still actually have a
I think
lot
I
to
think
go.
she's trying I think she's trying to add some value. I mean, there's value enough because those dragons look like they I'm not complicated, but like they're worth spending five
Yeah,
dollars or $7 for a pattern.
yeah.
But I know there are people who I mean, you know me, it's hard for me to spend money on a pattern, but
Hmm.
I'm not gonna shout about it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, I know that I am cheap. If you want to spend the money on the pattern, fine. I know that I am cheap. There are very few instances where I have said, "Oh, this does not this is not complicated enough for me to spend $5 on the pattern. But again, I've said that to myself. Okay,
The
I
only
hesitate to say that out loud, but there are people who will say it. And so I have a feeling that this designer was like, "Oh, I'm going to give you a little value for,
mhm.
so I'm going to make it cute and funny while you read the pattern, blah blah blah."
And it's just a good pattern. She's very clear about everything. I think the only thing that makes me hesitate to buy patterns is I have seen a couple patterns, free and paid, where it's less of a pattern and more of a recipe
Mhm.
of like, okay, so here are the things you need to do. You figure out how many stitches you need, how many rows you need, how many blah. And I'm like,
If I gave you $5, I want you to count it for me.
yes, exactly.
Because if I have to count it myself, then I don't want to give you my $5. I know $5 doesn't seem like a lot of money, but it for me, it's not just the $5. It is the hurdle of making me give money to somebody else.
Yes.
And if I have jumped that hurdle to give you money for a service, I'm not expecting the moon, but I am expecting you to at least live up to the standard of what other patterns, like if
Yeah.
all patterns were recipes, then I would understand, okay, this is what you get for your
When you get a pattern,
$5.
yeah. But that's not the case. Because
Hmm.
there are free patterns that give more than that. I
Hmm.
need I need more. And
Exactly.
on the subject of pattern writing,
Hmm.
at that same market, I was wearing my, the long stripe hat that I made. I was wearing that hat, and of course, every third or fourth person that came up to the table was like, "Ooh, I like your hat. Do you sell those?" And I'm like, "No, no, I do not." And so I was like, I one need to just make some more of these hats. I'll make a
Hmm.
couple, knock them out, put them on the table. But then I was like, if I'm going to make more of the hats, let me finally nail down this pattern so
Hmm.
that one, I am not winging it every time. That takes some of the brain power off of me. Two, if I
Did
finally
you
nail down this
did you
pattern, hmm,
did you knit that hat or crochet it?
crochet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I was like, let me nail down this pattern. And once I finally nail down the pattern, I can like make it look all nice and pretty. And then maybe I can sell the pattern. And then I can have it out there because I've had a couple of people ask for the pattern itself as well, besides just the hat. So the other,
Sidebar.
yes,
Hard out at 12.
12, 20 ish.
Okay.
So the other day at work, it was very, very slow. So in one shift at work, I knocked out a hat.
Good for
And
you.
I redid. Oh yeah, let me back up. I knocked out a hat and I redid the way that I do the hat because I was previously at the um, starting at the brim, and I did the brim separately, and then you attach the brim and go along. I am switching the way that I do it. So I started at the tip because the issue that I was having before was when I start over here, I feel like the shaping towards the tip gets really weird. And so I
Hmm.
started at the tip, that way I could kind of shape it as I was going along to make sure it's more like smooth and no like jarring size changes in
Hmm.
there. So I
I'm,
started at the
I am
tip.
just so amazed and proud of you for being able to just figure these kind of things out because I can't do that.
It's just a lot of like I have worked a lot of patterns, and I am slowly understanding more and more like this is why you do this thing. This is why you do this other thing. And so I am understanding more and more how and why things work. And so I'm able to implement them. So before I didn't know how to do a front post, back post, like double crochet or half double crochet for a brim. So I just did the where you go back and forth in the back loop only, and it makes the
Yeah.
ridges, and then you have to like do it separately. So now that I know how to do this, I
Hmm.
was able to do it all in one piece. You don't have to like sew anything on or attach anything in a weird place or
Hmm.
anything. And I was able to make it. You might notice that this one doesn't have the spiral
Hmm.
because I was like, let me get the shaping of the hat first. So I got a nice like striped yarn. This is a what is the Karen
That
ombre.
was that was gonna be my next question. What yarn is that? Yeah.
Yeah, this is a Karen ombre. I don't remember which ombre it is, but I know. For sure, it's a Karen ombre. Let me make sure that's the right name of what that is. Give me just a second. Because I think I still have my yarn card. Yeah, Karen Jumbo Ombre. So it's a Karen Jumbo Ombre in shades of various beiges and things. There's a little bit of purple in there. But
The white
so
girls do love their beige.
white girls do love their beige. So I am currently working up another one because I wrote out the pattern. I made this, and while I was making it, I like went into my Google Keep and I was writing down like how many of each row that I'm doing and blah blah blah, keeping track. Um, doing math, wild. But so I made this and I have the pattern written up. So I'm doing another one following the pattern that I wrote up to make sure that I wrote everything correctly, that I don't have any, because I already found a hiccup where I was like missing something or miswrote something. So I'm going through the pattern again, making a second hat. And then once I finish that second hat, I'm going to try to make the pattern look all pretty. And then I'm going to put it up in our Discord so that you lovely people can be my pattern testers if anybody wants to make one. If none of you want to make one, I will reach out into the people, into the world. But I will give it to you guys first to test the pattern. And leave me any comments of if anything's written weird. Do I need to add a picture here or there? Because so far I don't have any pictures in it. That's probably how I'm going to send it with the pattern testing is I'll have a picture of the finished hat, what it's supposed to look like. But other than that, I don't have any pictures because I don't know exactly where I need pictures added because it feels pretty straightforward. It's just kind of a long tube. But if anybody...
I don't know that you necessarily need to add pictures, but maybe I am not the girly to say that to, because I have bought patterns that have photo tutorials in them, and the photo just confuses me. If I'm not watching you do a video, then I'd rather just have straight written thing.
Yeah, there have been
Looking
a
at
couple
the
places
still
where
looking
pictures
at the
help, but
still
not super
pictures,
often.
looking
Yeah.
at the still pictures, trying to figure out. I don't know. I need to either see a video or see the written. I don't want a still picture and I don't want a chart.
The other thing is I don't know if I need to include tutorials for certain stitches, because the 3 stitches that I would need to include tutorials for, because in the pattern I'm going to have how to make the hat with the spiral, because that's the original one, that's how everybody kind of wants it. And then I have notations down at the bottom for how to make it just a plain hat without the spiral, just so you can have a plain long hat. But with the spiral, the 3 things that
I'm
feel like...
not sure I remember what you mean when you're saying the spiral.
Oh, let me go grab my other one. Give me 2 seconds, because it's just sitting in the living room.
2 seconds. I gotta talk to people again for 2
Yes.
seconds.
I'll be
Oh my goodness. Hurry up. I'm not even gonna bring the crossword up. Hurry up. I waited too late to eat, y'all. That's why I'm sitting here being rude and crunching down on this apple, because if I wait too late to eat, we've discussed this before. If I wait too late to eat, my stomach starts to hurt. And I thought I was catching it in time. I got my food, my stomach didn't hurt. I got my coffee. I was fine. But then I sat here and talked and forgot that I should have been eating. I was sitting here talking and doing the crossword when I should have been eating, and now my stomach hurts. And it's going to take a minute for I already ate both of my slices of bread, and because I was trying to grab something quick because I didn't have time to like toast a bagel and put peanut butter on it and all that other kind of stuff, because I was trying to hurry up and get back up here. My goal for Wednesdays is to have the crossword up by 10 and then have my live face up here by 10:30 at the very latest, so that people aren't just hanging around for nothing if anybody shows up to watch this, because we realize we have like 1 viewer, 3 viewers on a good day. So
Okay.
But you're back.
Yeah. Okay. So for reference, this is the hat that I just made. You can see it's just got the color changes in the yarn going all the way down. This, let me pick it up, is the original hat.
Oh, I remember now, with the ridges.
Yeah, it's got the color spiral
going
going
with the ridges. Okay.
all the way around. Yes.
And
And
how did
so,
are you doing 2 different yarns with that?
yes, or yeah,
A black and a rainbow yarn.
yeah, there's the black yarn that is the base of the hat. So when you
Mhm.
originally make the hat, it will look like this,
Uh-huh.
but slightly different because you'll have the space to put the. I'm just not trying to put all my information out there because I am going to try to sell this pattern, but you'll make it like this, but a little bit different, with spaces to put the spiral. The thing
Mhm.
is, the so the three stitches that I think people are going to need that people might not immediately know are um, front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet, and the reverse single crochet or the crab stitch.
Not my favorite stitch, but okay.
Yes. Well you can make it without that. That is what makes the spiral. You do
The
that
crab
going
stitch?
yes. You do that going back up around the hat and that's what makes the spiral. Yeah. It's a
It's
lot
not
of crab.
terrible. It's just like
It's
like
not
we've discussed
familiar.
like we've discussed before, you can't once you get your hand in the right rhythm, then it looks nice. But if you don't have your hand in the right rhythm, like sometimes I'll do it and I'll put my project down and I'll come back a little
Hmm.
while later and try to start doing it again. And it looks like all bunched up yarn.
Yeah, well, it does kind of create. You kind of cannot tell because this hat is so old. But if I hold it up, you can kind of see where there are like. That's just how that stitch kind of looks. You can
Uh-huh.
see like the little bumps. Like I said, this hat is
Yeah,
so because I made this. Yeah.
if it bumps a little bit, that's fine, but sometimes it's a hot mess. And the way I do it, I'm talking. I can't speak for anybody else.
I feel that whenever I haven't done it in a while and then I go back to try to do some reverse single crochets. I don't know if I prefer saying reverse single crochet or crab stitch. Um, but if I try to go back and do it, I have to like do the first couple stitches a few times until I get it to lay the way that I want, and then I can
Mhm.
kind of go through. But so I'm trying to decide, do I want to have some sort of picture tutorial of how to do the front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet, and the crab stitch, or do I want to just put in here are the abbreviations, these are the stitches you need to know. If you don't know how to do them, go find a YouTube tutorial.
That's what I would do.
Okay. Because I,
Especially if you're not going to be charging more than $5 for the pattern, putting a bunch of photos and all that, that's a lot of extra work.
yeah, because I was probably going to put it right at about $5.
Mhm.
Because it's a very simple pattern. It's just getting
Mhm.
the math of how many of each row do you need to do to make it
Mhm.
the shape that you want.
Mhm.
So I feel like $5 is a good price point for that. But so I am working on that. The other thing I don't know is, do I want to how do I want to put it into a PDF? Because I've seen some people say, oh, just make a Google Doc pattern, like just put it in Google Docs and then turn that Google Docs into the PDF and do that. Some people do them in Google Slides so that you can make them all cute and pretty and then turn that into a PDF.
You're breaking up on
Um,
me.
oh, can you hear me now? Am I still a robot?
Yeah, you're back. You're
Okay.
back.
I'm trying to figure out which program do I want to use because some people are saying just put it in Google Docs, turn that into a PDF, and then bam, there you go. Some people are saying
Mhm.
some people use Google Slides and then turn that
Mhm.
into a PDF so that they can with the slides you can like add more pictures and make it kind of pretty
Mhm.
with like backgrounds and stuff. And so
Mhm.
I've got like a Google Slides up and I've got a Google Doc with like the base pattern in it, and I
Mhm.
just don't know which one to do.
I mean, go with whatever program is easier for you to use
Yeah.
that you can get things done quickly.
Yeah, Google Docs is definitely easier. I just want it to look like cute, you
Mhm.
know?
You want it to look professional.
Yeah. I also don't know how many like notes and things I need, but that's also something that we could talk about later once I get it. Like once I put it in the Discord, then we can have a
Mhm.
maybe a discussion there. But all
Yeah.
of that to say, I wrote a pattern. I'm currently personally testing the pattern, and then pattern testers.
Well,
I will
yeah,
put it
I'll
out
make a hat if you send it my way, because I'm sure I could give your sister the hat.
Yeah, Chloe
She
would
could
like it,
wear it.
or honestly, Aunt Terry might like it because it's a long hat that you can kind of use as a scarf. And you told me she's a scarf girly.
She is a scarf girly. I don't know if she'd wear a hat though, because she's stuck in the 1980s flybacks. I don't know if, with her hair. I don't know if she would put a hat on top of that.
Who knows? I mean, if it gets cold enough.
But I mean, I honestly can't recall ever seeing her with a hat on. But
That's funny.
because her hair is precious. Um. So that's all your crafty thoughts.
Basically, I like kind of started and not finished three other things that I just don't even care to mention, honestly.
Well, I'll show you what little bit I've done, which is almost nothing, and then we can talk about some media that blends into crafty thoughts. Um, but I finally finished one of the squares. I followed um
Ronald's tips.
I followed Ronald's tips, and this is like the best it's gonna get. It's kind
It
of
looks
curled.
good.
It's kind of curled in on itself. I think I'm gonna use it to make that bag. Like I told you, I wanted a
Hmm.
little bag to carry around the house so I can drop my phone in it.
Yeah.
I know that sounds ridiculous to people, but I have fallen on the stairs multiple times in my life. I need to have my phone with me just in case I fall again. Okay. And when I say I got down to the this, do you
To
see
the
this?
wire.
To the wire. And you see this white
Right on the
on the
very
tip.
edge.
So I mean, I had to cut it enough that I could at least make a knot.
Yeah.
So this is not even going to be woven in. I just made a knot because I had just enough to make a knot, barely.
To the wire.
So I understand why um Red Heart has like, okay, we are giving you plenty of yarn this
Hmm.
time on the other end. And there's still people, because I've watched a couple videos, there's still people complaining about, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all this yarn here. I'm not gonna sew in with it. I'm like, yeah, but at least you don't have to worry about
Cutting it down, cutting it too close.
exactly, because I had to rein myself in several times, and like I took all the extra spaces out. This is supposed to be chain ones in here, and I took all those chain ones out. And
Hmm.
in the corners, that's supposed to be chain threes, and I made those chain twos. I did that before Ronald. I spoke to Ronald, and then Ronald's suggestion was to take those chain ones out, so I did that, and that
You must just
finally.
crochet so loosey goosey.
Oh yes, very. And I'm using, because they recommend a 5.5 hook. I'm using a 4 point.
Oh my goodness.
Hmm. Yeah, all these other people have trouble in the opposite direction. They crochet too tight, so they have a bunch of yarn left over. I'm in the other direction. I'm a loose crocheter, so I you saw my first one. It's still in the
Hmm.
picture's still in the Discord. I end up 5 stitches short because I'm already into the next color. By the time you get to this last row, I'm already into the next color because I'm so yeah. I'm using a 4.5 hook,
Wild.
and I mean I guess I could try going down to a 4.25 and see how that would work because I do own a 4.25, but it's like it's already curling.
I mean, you
It's
know what would
just, I
fix
guess,
that? You know what would
I
fix that that we
know.
definitely don't do?
Yeah, I know. I know you're looking for it to put in there,
I
aren't
am. I'm scrolling.
you? We don't block in this house. But
I'm
I'm
so
gonna be
happy to have all my little tags back.
I was thinking about that when I was setting up today, that it was nice to have all the tags still there, that they didn't cancel my account and get rid of all that stuff. Speaking
Mm,
of which, I need to remember to cancel Streamlabs and
the other one.
one stream today, the
Yeah.
ones that I had the cheap trials for. I'm gonna go ahead and cancel those today. Um But the only other thing that I worked, we don't block in this house, but I must admit I am tempted to get one of those squares just for blocking the granny squares.
Hmm.
I think I wouldn't mind because my only objection to blocking is that I really don't have I don't have an empty space in this
Yeah,
house to lay anything down.
I feel you because if I were to lace up, I could maybe sit stuff in the office or I could sit stuff in the guest
Mhm.
room until Chloe gets
Mhm.
here. But other than that, if I block anything in my living room, it's going to be covered in dog hair.
Well, see, we don't have animals for those who are watching. In this house, there's no animals because we are not pet people in this house. But we just are clutter people. We so like every surface. First of all, we don't have a lot of surfaces. Okay. Because we also don't have a lot of storage space in this house. But we
I
don't have a
realize
lot of surfaces. We have like one table that that would work.
I realize I get this from you, but
Mhm.
I am definitely a surface covering kind of person of if
Mhm.
there's an empty surface, I'm gonna put something on it.
Yep.
We also don't have a lot of empty surfaces. And I
Yep.
think I learned that from being at home where if there's an empty surface, no, that's a spot for something now.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. We right now I'm thinking about, okay, which one of us is going to clear off the dining room table because we don't eat at our table because we're not all home together at the same time. What brand would you recommend for purchasing roller skates? Well, you
Ooh,
handle that, Artemis.
whatever brand you can get. I know Pigeon Skates makes some roller skates that I've heard good things about. And then ooh, you'll have to get back to me about this later because there's another Moxie. Moxie skates are another brand that I wanted to get when I was originally buying roller skates, but could not find any because roller skates were just sold out because I was buying them during the pandemic. But Pigeon Skates, I believe, sell skates. So I don't know if they are just locally because they're one of the people I follow on YouTube. But Moxie Skates is a big brand that like has a lot of good reviews, a lot of nice things. I wish I could have bought them, but I bought some extra skates off somebody over here in this area.
But yeah, we are surface people. We're surface covering people. We have in this house, we have Ari's funny. We
I
have
didn't sidebar banner.
we have
Continue.
a dining room table, and that's really the only big flat surface that we've got. I don't know what the rest of these people do. I guess they have craft rooms or something to block things on, but we have one dining room table, and it is covered with stuff because everybody look at you. It is covered with stuff because every time somebody comes home, I keep trying to clear it off because I want to get into the habit of like eating my breakfast downstairs at the
Hmm.
table. Because it's getting to where it's difficult for me to walk upstairs with a plate of food and a cup of coffee
Hmm.
because then I don't have my hand for the banister. So I try to eat downstairs, but every time I go downstairs, somebody has dropped this stuff. If they get packages from Amazon, they get dropped on the table. Typically they come home from work and they drop their lunch boxes because all three of them pack stuff for lunch. They drop their lunch boxes
Hmm.
and their high vis jackets or their high vis vests and stuff that they bring from work all get just dropped on the table
Yeah, I have
and
to
then stay
clear a
there.
space every time I need to try to eat because I'm like, man, I covered up my eating space. Let me move everything.
And so it's just the stuff just stays there till somebody comes back and gets it. And now tomorrow is Thanksgiving. And it's like I don't know if we're actually gonna try to eat together at the table. The past few years we've tried. So somebody's gonna have to clear the table off. And I don't know if it's gonna be me, but since no guests are coming, I can just take everything off that table and dump it in the living room and let them figure out what they want to do with it.
Hmm.
Because we don't sit in our living room either, so our couches stuff is dumped on our couches. So we don't have surface people, so we can't block things.
Yes,
But I could block granny
a little.
squares
Yeah.
because you just have that little square thing. So I could sit that on my desk in my office, or on top of my printer over here. The only other arty thing I worked on, I hesitate to show this because it's not done, but I'll go ahead and show it anyway. And then the next time you see it will be on the wall.
Ooh, ooh. Ooh, do we have a new celebrity? Oh, I'm trying to see who that
Oh,
is.
it looks so much better on the
It looks
camera.
good. I'm trying to place the face.
It looks very good on the camera.
Who? Oh, I can't place the face. Who is that?
Ronald would place it if he was here.
Who is it? Ronald's not here. Who is
I
it?
know he's not gonna be here till next week, so I guess I'll have to tell you. This is Elizabeth Taylor.
Elizabeth Taylor. Okay, I have heard her name, but never knew what she looked like. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah. So I chose shades of purple.
it looks good.
I'm using the Sharpie S Note markers, which are really not meant for coloring, but that's what I'm using them for.
Sharpies are just alcohol markers.
They're meant for. I don't think these are alcohol because you can't see through the back of it. So
Are
I think these are water based ones.
okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, do they say water based on them? Because
They don't.
normal Sharpies are alcohol markers.
I don't have the box in front of me, so they might say on the box. I
Mm,
don't have the box in front of me. But yeah, these are markers that I stole from your father. This is my color palette that
cute.
I've got.
And very
And
pastel.
yeah, all the whole set is pastel. So
Oh,
I was
okay.
trying to pick like the darkest colors out of the pastel ones because I think the other one that I did with those markers
Was it?
was I think it was James Dean. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it was James Dean. Very pastelly. There's
Hmm.
nothing dark in that really dark in that book, but I think this one is turning out okay. I'm I'm halfway through the fourth color. So it's almost done. I'm halfway through the fourth color.
There
With
are
the
how many colors? Five or six?
There's five colors
Okay.
and you can really see you I really start to get excited with the picture when I start adding the third color.
Mm-hmm.
The first color is always these outside really dark ones where you
Yeah.
can't hardly see, and the second color starts usually starts in with the eyes and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then the third color really shapes up the eyes. You
Okay.
really get more of the
All the
eyebrows
details
and
and
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, and I'm on the fourth color now. The third and fourth color, you get more of the mouth and more of the nose and stuff. So I you really get in the shaping of the chin is coming in. So the third color is when I really start to get excited about the picture.
I wish they had a way for you to like put in a picture of somebody and make those drawings
Hmm.
because I want to
Hmm.
do one of those, but I have
Hmm.
no desire to do any of those celebrities.
Hmm.
Like, can I? I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, I
Can
still want to get. I want to get the other one. I forget which one it was. It has like the rock stars or
I?
something,
Mm-hmm.
or it might be famous paintings. I can't remember which one. But he doesn't make these books anymore, and I really wish he did. I
Bruh.
really wish he did. The author is, or the artist, I should say, is Thomas Pavitt,
Mm-hmm.
Pavitte, and I really wish that he made more of them because they are
They turn out so good.
they turn out so nicely. Now they have an animals one if you want to do animals. I know you like animals.
Maybe.
They have an animals one. Um I'm on Amazon looking at them now. Um but while I'm looking that up, have you been on the side of TikTok in that is having this crochet clothing is ugly argument?
What? No. What? Also, hang on, before we finish the sidebar, there were two, before we move on to the TikTok thing, there were two things I wanted to talk about. And then we will get back to this because
Okay.
what? Okay, let me pull up my screen because let's see. There were two things that I found that I just want, I have no explanation. One, these little these little like woven tags to put in your like crochet items. Let me pull the thing up onto the screen. There you go. These little crochet tags made with lots of love and lots of bad words. Look after it in very slow
Oh,
fashion,
those are
so painfully
cute.
slow, right? And they have the like wash instructions for the thing. So
Uh-huh.
I was thinking about getting some of these because they're not that expensive. So I was thinking about
Yeah.
starting to get some. I'm trying to decide between getting these or getting the little like faux leather tags that you can put on them because this will be on the inside.
The ones that you see Passionate Kelsey use.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I feel like her little leather tags make it look so professional.
Yes, they do make it look professional.
So I was thinking about getting some of those, but I also kind of want these just for the inside to like so that people know like how to wash it, how to take care of it and everything.
I think you should get those tags. I mean,
It
nothing against Passionate Kelsey, but every time I see one of those, because I'm watching a reality show right now,
mhm.
um, where they're like climbing to the summit or whatever, and this woman has on a hat that clearly looks like it's a hand knit or hand crocheted hat, and I see
Leather
um
tag.
the little leather tag on the side, and I'm like, that is so hipster white girl
I
to
mean, but
me.
the people that I sell to up here,
That's true.
so they would probably go for it. Just like people up here wear hats with pom poms on them, and I freaking hate pom poms. But those are the
What you
kind of
mean,
people
like
I'm
the
selling.
fur pom poms, or like the homemade yarn pom
Either
poms?
one. They'll have fur pom poms or yarn. Speaking of yarn pom poms, full sidebar. Let me pull up my little panel thing. Speaking of the little homemade yarn pom poms, at work, at Party Store, we sell these little headbands. They're called head bopper headbands. That it's a
Hmm.
headband with a little spring on it, and it's got just
Hmm.
two little yarn pom poms on it. And I'm like, I could have made this. Why are you spending
I've seen those
$7 on
headbands,
this?
but when I've seen them, they've had little fur pom poms. I hadn't seen them with yarn ones.
The ones at our store have yarn ones, and I'm like, this. Anyway, so the other thing about the leather tags is I like the leather tags because they can have like your logo on them or your like
Yeah,
brand name on them.
yeah,
But also I because if I buy them, I'm only gonna buy one color to start off with because I'm not made of money at the moment. And
yeah.
so do I buy black? Is that gonna go with everything I make? Do I buy brown? Is that gonna go with everything I make? I don't know what color to get that would fit with
Hmm.
because you know me, I will get some wild colors
Hmm.
sometimes, and I don't know what to do. So I'm kind of leaning
I
towards
don't know
these, and they'll be.
the
Go ahead.
colors that I've seen you use. I think brown would go.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I do get a lot of like earthy tone things. Because a lot of people up here like earth tones, like not even
Hmm.
just beiges, but like earth tones of like
Hmm.
earthy greens, earthy browns, stuff like that.
Hmm.
So brown probably would go, but I also do just do a lot of bright colors. So I'm not sure. Like if I make another one of my hat that's like the black with the rainbow, I feel like brown
Hmm.
would not go with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm leaning more towards these. The other thing I wanted to show real quick, remove this, um, and switch my screen share. Oops. Okay, I gotta do that, and then share
Did
screen
you throw it
to.
away? Shame
I
on
did.
you.
I threw it right away. Let's
Shame on you.
pull this back
So
up.
while you're pulling that up, I went on Amazon to look at Thomas Pavitt's stuff, and they have the masterpieces and the animals. Those are the only other two Quirkle books they've got.
Bruh. I just wish there was
So
like a program or like to make a picture turn into that so that you can color it in.
yeah, yeah.
But I was at Auntie Joanne's yesterday. One because I needed some more stuffing because I've used up basically all my stuffing. That dragon saffron that I showed earlier uses a lot of stuffing. It like uses a deceptively large amount of stuffing. Um, but while I was there, they also had because I think because of Black Friday had a 20% off your entire purchase, including clearance coupon.
Mhm. Oh wow.
Yes. So I didn't spend that
Yeah,
much. I just got
Black Friday is starting to, for the past several years, Black Friday has not, because I don't know if you remember this, but your father used to be the type to wake up at the crack of dawn and go
and go
out with
into
the
the store.
aunties and go to the stores and get, like the $50 television and the things like that. But for the past at least 10 years, he hasn't really been, or more. He hasn't really
Mhm.
been about that life because at least around here, there was a peak to Black Friday and what kind of good deals you could get on Black Friday, and
Yeah.
it was like I'd say 1995
Yeah, I feel like the
was
deals
the
are not
peak.
as good as I remember
And
seeing.
the deals have not been good since 1995, I don't think. And that, that's almost 30 years ago. And so, but now this year, I'm starting to finally see, maybe it's just that I'm looking, maybe it's just that I'm in a different algorithm where they're sending me stuff or
Mhm.
whatever, but I'm finally starting to see people, a lot of places that I don't remember having Black Friday sales. In my brain, Black Friday was like Circuit City when it was still open, big, I'm not Big Lots, Best Buy,
Mhm.
Walmart,
Yeah.
those, the big box stores. I did not remember places like Joann's having a Black Friday thing, or Michael's having Black Friday, or Streamlabs and StreamYard sent me Black Friday email,
Wild.
and Restream sent me Black Friday emails. Restream's deal was good, but I didn't like using their service. StreamYard, if they had given me a good deal on the individual plan, I might have signed up. They were trying to give me a deal on that hella expensive $200 a month
No, thank
business
you.
plan. And I'm like, no.
No, thank you.
And the deal wasn't good enough. I mean, and we like StreamYard, but it was still
Yeah.
too expensive per month for and they were giving, a steep discount, and it was still too expensive.
That is full sidebar. I'm not pulling up a banner. I don't feel like it. Full sidebar. That's how I know if a product is cheap enough for me to be able to afford. Is if I'm
Mhm.
watching somebody do their like YouTube sponsorship or something, and they're like, and this place is offering 40% off, and I'm like, oh, it's too expensive. If you're able to offer 40% off, it's too expensive because
Yeah.
40% off is still going to be like $120.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like if
exactly.
they're offering 10% off, I might actually be able to afford it because that means it's so cheap that you can't offer more than that.
Exactly. Exactly.
But so they were having a sale, and I believe it was Black Friday, but it may have been something else because the sale, like I looked on Tuesday and it was like I just checked my app because I was like, I need to get the stuffing. Let me see if they have any sales right now. And I checked my app and it was on Tuesday and it's like you have a coupon for 20% off all items, including clearance, and it expires tomorrow. So it expires on Wednesday. So I'm like, is it for Black Friday or is it just they're just trying to do some stuff? But
Mhm.
so I went in and I got my stuffing. I got some more yarn for a couple hats, but I also
Mhm.
I didn't get this, but I saw this. I don't know if we talked about this yarn before. Have you seen the Bernat Fluffy?
Um, I think I saw a YouTube video for Bernat Fluffy.
I walked in, I looked at it there, and I'm like, ooh, what's this? I touched it. When I tell you, I was transported to the heavens. It was so soft.
You don't like Bernat though.
I don't like Bernat, but it was. This is not that crusty, dusty, super hard to work with. Normal Bernat's not that bad. Normal Bernat's not that bad. It's just when you're making a lot of stuffed animals, it's a little harder
Mhm.
to work with than some of the other chenille yarns. This was so buttery soft,
Mhm.
so buttery soft. It was so like
Mhm.
I could. Ooh, I wish I was touching it right now. It was so soft, and but I don't know what I want to make with it. Like I
Uh-huh.
want to get some, but I don't know what. And they've got all of their
That
colors
bright
also.
pink.
Yes, and you can see like there's a bright orange in the bottom corner. Like
Mhm.
all of their colors are very neon. There's like that ugly blue right here that I keep buying in various different yarns. But like if I zoom in, you can see like the furs and things on it.
Yeah.
See the like
Yeah.
the
I
way
I
the
feel
hoop
like I
sleeves.
feel like they sent me I feel like Your Inspiration sent me an email with, one of their lookbooks is like make
Uh-huh.
all these things out of Bernat Fluffy, but I cannot remember.
I'm thinking maybe I want to try to get one and make just like a sweater or something.
Mhm.
something like that, because it feels like it would be nice for sweater. The only thing I'm worried about, because I don't think I want to try to make any stuffies out of it, because stuffies
Mhm.
are like handled a lot, and I feel
Yeah.
like it would start to
Yeah.
kind of like pill and get kind of gross. But I also
Yeah.
I don't. That's the other thing I'm worried about is if I make something out of this, if I make like a wearable or something out of this, is it going to like pill up really bad?
Yeah.
Is it gonna go from soft to real gross like real fast?
Yeah, every time you say pill, I remember that hoodie I made for you that pilled the first time I washed it, and I was
But
so sad.
might I point you back to my hat? This hat is covered in like we're gonna full screen me one more time. Let's remove this. Oh my goodness, clicking the buttons and full screen me. Because it is so like I made this hat in 2021 and you can
Mhm.
see all of the little like you can't see the black so much, but you can see the like the pills on the colored part.
It's not terrible though.
It feels like it looks terrible. Like up near the head
No,
part is not as bad, but down towards the like the end.
I think it still looks pretty good though. But I see the pills on there, but I think it still looks pretty good. I think the fact that it's multicolor kind of distracts a little bit from the
Mm-hmm.
pills, whereas the sweater I made you was like a pale yellow, and
Yes.
it was just all one color. There was nothing to distract from the fact that there was pills all over that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that yarn has since been discontinued. But when I bought it, it was so soft, and I thought, oh, this is gonna make such a nice, soft, comfortable hoodie to wear. And I don't think I saw you wear that hoodie twice.
I remember that hoodie. I remember wearing it.
All I remember was being disappointed when we washed it and dried it and it had pills all over it. And I can't remember anything else about that hoodie.
Yeah, I don't remember the pills as much as just remembering the hoodie and remembering wearing it.
Hmm.
But so those are my two little sidebars. Now, what is this about crochet clothes being ugly on TikTok?
I just, again, I don't ever see the original thing. I
Yeah.
see the responses to it. And apparently, I've only seen two videos, so I don't guess it's that big a deal. But I saw one girl who really went in depth about it. Um, I mean, it is exactly what it sounds like. I don't know whether she saw another video or whether she's been getting comments or whether it was in one of those hot take videos or whatever. But it was all these things about crochet clothing being ugly. She had done two videos. I think I've gotten her on my FYP twice because her first video that she did was um about how she had worked in a yarn store and she knows how to knit and crochet. Or I no, I think at the time she knows how to knit and crochet now, but at the time she only knew how to crochet and she was working in a yarn store and she wasn't allowed to work in the front of the store because she crocheted. So they put her in the back of the store because the people are snobby in the yarn shop.
Knitters, ooh, knitter. I feel like I've seen this take before that
Hmm.
knitters are much more snobby than because crochet. It feels like crocheters are like, oh, you do a fiber art, awesome. I crochet. What do you do? Whereas knitters are like, do you knit? Oh, you don't. Ew.
Yeah, yeah. Knitters are like that. Knitters are like that. And I must admit it. But before I get there, the second, so then I saw she did another video about how she's been hearing people say that crochet clothing is ugly, and she was giving all of her things about but crochet clothing is not ugly. Maybe if you would try using a thinner yarn, if you would try using a smaller hook or whatever, blah blah blah. And my thought, I just wanted to share my thoughts on that after seeing that video. I almost commented on the video, but I have learned well, I almost learned my lesson about commenting on videos that have like a high view count,
Because then you'll
because
get a
then that
bunch of notifications
because
from people liking
yeah,
or
I've
commenting.
and I haven't fully learned my lesson because I've commented on a video yesterday about Teeny's mac and cheese, and but it was a Keith
Oh, you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Lee
Release my mother.
video.
Okay,
He has millions of
you were breaking up for a second.
viewers, and I before and I'm already getting even before I got off TikTok last night, immediately after I left that comment, I had already gotten like five likes in the space of 5 minutes. So I'm like,
Mm,
I'm gonna. For those who don't know, I only get on TikTok right before I go to sleep at night, and I usually only spend like 30 minutes to an hour on TikTok, and then I go to bed. And and I know it's that I'm not exaggerating. I know it's only about 30 minutes to an hour because I look at my screen time thing on my phone and it divides up what you've spent your time on, and it's an
mhm.
hour on TikTok every day. So I know I don't spend more than an hour on TikTok every day. I just don't get sucked into the things like some people do. But
It's me. I'm some people.
but I know I'm gonna go on there tonight, and there's going to be hundreds of comments, hundreds of likes to my comment, and they're all going to be because of that
From
one
that one
comment
video.
from that one video. I should have learned my lesson, but I just had to comment on something, you know, reply to something, so I just did. But anyway, the thing is, I'm older. This girl who made this video responding, both of the girls, because there was another girl, one, excuse me, one was a white girl, one was a black girl, and both of them were making comments about, yeah, if the black girl was a little more sassy about it. It's like, if you don't want to use a thin yarn and a small hook, just say so. You know, that's how you stop your projects from being stiff and ugly and blah blah blah.
Hmm.
But both of these girls are younger than me. They are
Yeah.
probably younger than you. I am old enough to remember where I would go in the library. And remember, I was in high school in the 80s. I graduated in 1984. But you would go in the library, whether it was the public library or the school library, and the newest patterns you could find for crochet were 1975.
Ooh.
Okay. And 1975 and earlier.
Hmm.
And so these young gals um, don't remember that crochet clothing used to be ugly. I mean, I knit and crochet. I learned how to do both at the same time, so I escaped, or I could have escaped being snobby about it.
Hmm.
But even I had my preconceived notions of when I got back into the hobby around the time that you were a baby. Even I had my notions of, okay, well, knitting is if you want to make a sweater or maybe knit some socks or something like that, that you want a nice, smooth, you want your sweater to look like you could have bought it in a store kind of thing. If you make crochet, crochet is for blankets. I will concede that crochet is for hats, but anything that you make from crochet is going to look like you made it.
Yeah, I think that's the big difference is that because machines can be used to knit things, knitting looks like a machine did it. Knitting
Mhm,
doesn't look like a person did it.
mhm,
Whereas
mhm,
with crochet, it looks like a person did it. Like
mhm,
if I and I feel like because you can use like smaller yarn and stuff and make it look more like machine made, but one that's going to
mhm,
take a significantly more amount of time, which like if you have that time, go off girly, do what you want.
mhm,
um but two, I don't know, I sort of like, I'm kind of back and forth because one, I do want my stuff to look like professional and stuff because I do sell things, so I do want
mhm,
my stuff to look like professional and stuff,
mhm.
but I don't want it to look so professional that someone can come up to my table and say, oh, did you make this or did you buy it? Like
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I want it to be very clear, like I want it to look good, and also people say,
Mhm,
oh my goodness, that must have taken you a lot of time, it looks so good.
mhm,
Like I
mhm,
don't want there to be even the slightest hint of confusion that something that a machine could have made my stuff,
mhm,
because it
mhm,
didn't. Because I spent a lot of time on it.
mhm. Yeah, that's where my attitudes on crochet have changed over the years. But it also helps that I think crochet has entered this renaissance partially because modern crochet designers have veered away from the color palettes and the things that were popular in the 70s, which was the last time that crochet clothing was popular,
Hmm.
was in the 70s. And modern designers have veered away from that. And you look at modern patterns now, and a lot of that stuff is much more interesting and much more attractive than 70s patterns.
Yeah, there are girlies out here making very like Sydney's
Yes.
dress that she made for the cruise
Yes. Yes.
looks very nice. Looks had like had she been able to take a bit more time on the like little ties and stuff that she did,
Hmm.
looked very professional. Like it
Hmm.
looked very good. So I don't know, like I don't know. It doesn't have that like crochet look, I guess,
Yeah.
that
The
the
stiff,
girlies are
the
not.
thing, the yarn in the 70s, it was usually worsted weight. It was usually thick, bulky stitches
Hmm.
that usually grain. A lot of outfits were like granny square stuff. There wasn't
Hmm.
a lot of lace things going on. It was a lot of granny square stuff. And it was also a lot of people, if is myself included, cannot visualize past the colorway that was used in the pattern picture. So, like, if
Hmm.
you see a picture of the finished product and it's in shades of brown and olive green, which were popular in the 70s, brown, olive green, mustard orange, yeah, you're probably going to think that crochet is ugly, but you can make that in a different color.
Hmm.
And I used to be a person who could not visualize past the color that was in the picture.
That goes back to my frustration of when people name their patterns after the colorway that they use. Like, don't name it after the colorway. Name it after the look, the
Look,
vibe,
mhm,
the like. Don't
mhm.
name it after the colors.
Yeah, but yeah, that was my main thought, was that the now my taste in crochet has reversed, because now I look at knitting magazines, because like with my Kindle Unlimited thing, I can look at knitting magazines. I used to get magazines back in the day when you were younger, and I would always get the knitting magazines, and I would ooh and ah over the different sweaters and stuff in there. And now I get, through my Kindle Unlimited, I get the crochet magazines more than I get the knitting magazines. And
Hmm.
I'll be honest, there's still a lot of things in the crochet part that I look at and go, this is ugly. But in the knitting magazines, more often than not, I'm just bored.
Yes,
I'm
knitting,
just
unless you're
bored
doing a lot of like fun color work and stuff, is boring.
because it's a flat fabric, and I don't know. I'm just
Like,
bored.
if you want
I
that
mean,
flat fabric, why? Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that I will never knit again, but I do get, there's not as much exciting me in the knitting magazines as in the crochet magazines when it comes to clothing.
Hmm.
And that's partly because the designers are making things that are nicer to wear. And so I don't think of crochet as just being for blankets and stuff, but the young gals do need to acknowledge that there was a time, because especially most of the people who aren't that familiar, whether you are a fiber artist or not, you might be a fiber artist who only knits, so you have not kept up with what's going on in crochet. So when you think of crochet, all you think of is those patterns that date back to the 70s, and acrylic yarn, because that's the
Hmm.
other thing. A lot of um knitters are real snobby about yarn.
Yep.
And acrylic touch my perfect hands, dare to say not. And whereas crocheters are much more open about using acrylic, probably because crochet eats yarn.
It
That's
will.
the common saying, crochet eats yarn. So
It will
you can you
chew
can
through it.
you can afford to be more precious about, oh, I want to use this yarn that is $16 a hank. And when I
When
say
you're making
$16 a
a
hank, I am
paper
not,
thin flat panel of
yeah, I'm
of
not
knitting.
exaggerating when I say $16 a hank, because there's yarn out there that is 16 and $20.
Hmm.
Not even Not even a nice juicy skein. This is a
Yeah.
juicy skein of $10
This is
yarn.
$16 right here.
This is a juicy skein of
It
$10 yarn.
would be you
You
go
know,
into a yarn store, you look at this and say, "Ma'am, how much is this?" This is $16.
exactly. Exactly. So so they think of that and they think, "Oh, I'm not interested in crochet," but you need to acquaint yourself with modern crochet because it doesn't all look like what it looked like in the 70s. But then crocheters also have to acknowledge that sometimes we make things
Oh, sometimes crochet
because
is ugly.
sometimes we make things because and I used to say this about knitting too, because there's been some knitting patterns that I've looked at that were, I haven't seen any recently, but there's been some knitting patterns that I've looked at that are like, this nobody wants to wear this. It's fun for you to make it because the stitch is interesting and you like working on things that are fiddly
Mm-hmm.
because you feel a sense of accomplishment when you finish it, but the finished product is not attractive. And I see a lot more of that in crochet than I do in knitting, where it is interesting to make this thing to be able to say that you made it, but it's not attractive.
We all know I'm not afraid to say when I think a crochet thing is ugly, like those ruffly bucket hats. I hate them.
Mhm.
Um, they're popular. People wear them. I hate them. But I feel like crochet has more of a chance to
Oh no. Did she disappear? Just when she was telling me her thoughts? She just disappeared on me? I am so sad. Is she going to come back? Oh no. Is she going to come back? Where is she? Oh no. I'm just sitting here saying, oh no, over and over. And it hasn't completely thrown her out. So I'm assuming she's coming back because it's just buffering on her end. So I'm assuming that she's coming back. She hasn't sent me a message. So I'm going to assume she's coming back. Speaking of, ooh, there she went. There she went. And I haven't gotten a message from her at all. But speaking, while we're waiting for a second to see if she is going to come back, I mentioned that I've been watching a reality show. I'm texting her while I'm talking to you. A reality show. It's called The Summit. I think it came on earlier this year on CBS. And it's one of those survival shows. My husband loves the survival shows. It's one of those survival shows where, in this case, there are a bunch of people who are climbing a.
Hello?
There you are. Are you on your phone?
I am. My laptop died. It said it had 10 minutes left.
Why do you never plug your laptop in?
I do, but my right now my cord is in the living room because I only stream in the office because the dogs aren't in here. You're not hearing all the sound from Wayne's TV and stuff. But it's cold in here.
I
This office is the
yeah,
coldest room in the house,
I feel you.
so I don't want to be in here if I don't have to. So I've been in the living room more. But what I was saying before I was so rudely cut off, can you hear me okay with this microphone before
Yeah,
I
I can hear
continue?
you fine.
Okay. What I was saying before I was cut off is I feel like crochet also has more of just a chance to be ugly because it is easier to like mess around and figure stuff out when you're crocheting versus when you're knitting. Because when you're crocheting, if you're messing around with something doesn't look good, you can just pull it out and try again. Whereas when you're knitting, if you like are trying to do some fancy thing and you have to backing up backing up in crochet is like backing up on a scooter. Backing up in knitting is like backing up a Big Mac truck. Like you
Yeah.
really got to try to fit. You got to know what you're doing to be able to back up in knitting. And so I feel like crochet, because I feel like I am seeing more and more people making not just like wearables, not just practical things, but like making art with crochet, like making just
Yeah.
art pieces of making like, because I see a lot of people, especially on TikTok, and Instagram, I see a lot of people making like like cowls and stuff that are like, this is not practical whatsoever, but it's got like horns coming off of it and little danglies, and it covers your mouth and all kinds of like just making art pieces. And so
Yeah.
it has, I feel like there is more of a chance for crochet to be ugly because you can do more things. Like if when a thing becomes more accessible, more people are going to do it, and so there's more chance for someone to make something that's like not enjoyable to the masses, but they like it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. Why am I hearing an echo?
I don't know. Probably because I'm on my little microphone over here. You might be hearing yourself. Uh,
Weird.
I'll turn it down a little bit. Maybe it'll stop echoing.
But yeah, that's all I had to say about it. The young girls just need to acknowledge that there was a time where crochet was homely, and the crochet clothing in particular, because we're talking about the clothing in particular, crochet clothing in particular, there was a time when it was stiff and it was
Ooh,
homely
thank you.
and such.
Love you. I got room service.
Well, aren't you special, you and your room service? The other odd thing is that your face down in the thing, it looks like it's closed in way on your face when you look down in the bar in the green room part of this thing.
I can't see
So
any green room in here.
okay. Well, where did you go? We lost you again. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
This is why I don't stream on my phone. I don't know what's going on.
You're back again. Okay, so it's roughly time because it is 12:23. Do you have anything else that we want to talk about before we
Not
go?
that I can think of. I am turning on the rock music because I do have access to that. Um, Not that I can think about. I feel like there was something else I was going to say, but I am just not. I'm just not coming upon it. I'm trying to look around to see if anything will jog my memory about anything I'm doing. I don't know. I haven't put any more work into my shawl because I got to a point where I was like, doing all these long rows is boring because making a shawl is just a blanket for your body, and blankets take forever.
I feel you. I was sitting here last night thinking that I was double knitting that avatar blanket, and I was thinking I wanted to pull it out and start all over again because
Not start all
I don't feel
over.
like them. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it for the moment because I have one where I was working on Chloe's blanket version of the blanket. For those who are just now watching, I'm making a blanket, but I'm making two of the blankets because I have twins, and one of them is in a dark color scheme and one is in a light color scheme. So the light color scheme, last time I worked on it, I decided to double knit it, and it was going well, but it was kind of going slowly. But I stopped it to work on the sweater I was wearing for vacation. And now I feel like it's time to get
Is
back
it
to the
is it a
blanket.
pixel graph that you're following?
Yeah, it's a pixel graph that I'm following.
Hear me out. Corner to corner.
Corner that was originally what I was going to do with it, but corner to corner is confusing to me.
I don't understand how. Have you tried putting it into Stitch Fiddle? Because Stitch Fiddle will like highlight the squares that you need.
I have a row by row count.
Oh, okay.
N- Oh no, no, not for that pattern. It's a different pattern I'm thinking of.
Yeah, because Stitch
No.
Fiddle for the free version, it will highlight the ones that you need, and you can go to each row. And if you pay the $5 for Stitch Fiddle, um, if you have your pattern in Stitch Fiddle, it'll like put up the grid and highlight where am I? Okay. It'll put up the grid and highlight the stitches that you need, but you can also for the paid version convert it into written. And so it'll write out the patterns you need. So you don't need to look at the little diagonals. You just need to read
What
four squares of blue, three squares of light blue.
okay, so if you use Stitch Fiddle though, can you do that for Does it have to be corner to corner?
No.
Okay, so I could pay the $5 and have them do that for like if I wanted to do the whole blanket in single crochet.
Yes.
Okay.
You just need to.
That might be worth the $5 because that's the big thing that is slowing me down on this pattern is that like the first bottom of the square is just straight and I zip through that really quick and then you
Mhm.
get to the part where I have to work the chart and that's what slows me down and I end up giving it up halfway through.
Okay, you and I need to sit down and have a conversation about it then, because with Stitch Fiddle, you need to be prepared to fiddle with the website a little bit to make sure, because if you're just importing the picture into Stitch Fiddle, you will have to fiddle with it to make sure that your grid squares are lined up where you need them to be.
Okay,
But
well I
once you
already
get
have this downloaded as a graph.
Yes, but putting the graph into Stitch Fiddle because it
Oh,
uses its
okay.
own program stuff.
Oh,
So
okay.
putting the graph into Stitch Fiddle. But once you get it lined up the way that you need it to be, because that's what I use for my when I made
Those
the
hats.
no. Well, I did use Stitch Fiddle for the hats, but I didn't use the written pattern. I used the written pattern for the oh, I'm looking right in the direction where I know it's packed away. My QR code. When I
Mm.
crocheted my QR code, I used Stitch Fiddle, and instead of like looking at each individual thing, because it got pretty big, and so I don't want to look
Uh-huh.
at 50 individual squares. I shelled out the $5, and it wrote it out of like four black, three white, 5 black, 2 white, and it like
Yeah, that's what I need.
yes. So you and I need to sit down at some point, and so we can share a screen and fiddle with the Stitch Fiddle. But yeah,
Because yeah, I really want to get these blankets done because they are weighing on me and I would give up on them, but I did buy all that yarn a few months
mhm.
ago. So I really can't give up on them now. I have to finish.
If I felt the emotional weight that you did every time I bought yarn for a project and then did not do that project,
You would be weighed down. You would
I
be
would.
weighed down. But thank you to everybody for watching us today. Um, and for those of you who may be watching us tomorrow while you cook your Thanksgiving dinner, we could keep you company. If if you are watching this on Wednesday and you know somebody who would enjoy listening to this on Thursday while they cook, pass this along to them. Maybe they want to subscribe. Maybe you want to hit the like button because you enjoyed it enough to pass it on to them. Maybe you both want to hit the notification bell so you know the next time we do this. The next time we will be having this Wednesday coffee clutch will be Wednesday of next week. Crossword goes up at 10 a.m.
We show up sometime after that. No guarantees of when.
I aim for 10:30 at the latest, but and if you want to do a little playing around, if you're off the day after Thanksgiving and you want to do a little playing around, we'll be over on Twitch
Playing
playing
thirsty suitors.
playing Thirsty Suitors
Help us figure out how to fix all these relationships.
and such. But thanks for hanging out with us. Bye.
Bye. You ended. I'm on my phone. Also, while you're ending it, my shirt. It's a King of the Hill shirt. It says I've given up more things than you've started. I quit more things than you've started.
Oh, good Lord.
I love it.